Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all, so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious, and that life is treating you most deliciously. So, what do, my juicy little lads? What is it? Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place. 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright still. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so I have one video today for you, my delicious little babies, and then we'll just have a little discussion. Okay, my delicious little babies, and then I'm going to be over and out. Okay, so the weather is beautiful. It's 10 to 12 in the morning in our old England, my delicious little babies. Still lots of not so very fluffy little clouds, very little blue sky, but the sun is shining, weather is sweet, yeah, make you wanna move. Okay, my delicious little babies, now then. So this one here, my delicious babies, this is the only one for YouTube today, my delicious babies, and this uploader happens to have 82.3 thousand subscribers, my delicious babies. There we are, came up on my feed again, my delicious babies, you know, because different ones are coming up on my feed here and there, so that's why I said again, do you know what I mean? So there's always another one following. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, this is called, now for some of you, my delicious babies, you will know who these are. I know your man's face there. I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean no. He was on, he's at Double Down News. Okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, but this is called capital M Mint. Okay, because it's two words together, my delicious babies. So it's capital M Mint and then capital P Press, but they're two words together, my delicious babies. Space capital N News. Okay, my delicious babies. Now this video is just over 1 hour long, my delicious babies, okay? And the video should read low key meets former US, just going over the US soldier, my delicious babies, can. Yeah, very interesting, there we are, conversation actually, my delicious babies. You know, it's very interesting to listen to, isn't it? My delicious little babies, okay? So now I'm going to close my book. Must always remember to go back to where we need to go back to, my delicious little babies, because that doesn't mean, you know, it's just that sometimes I just switch. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, another one is you can actually go on Goyim, GOYRM, then capital TV.com, my delicious little babies. If you use a type in fake Nukesville, okay, my delicious little babies, okay, Goyim, capital G, you know, and I'll just spout that out to you, okay, my delicious little babies. Or he's got his other here, which is it's lowercase, fake nukes 4848 at gmail.com. Okay, my delicious little babies. So now I'm going to close my book. Okay, my delicious little babies, let's just pop my book over there. Now then, my delicious little babies. So, so it's a really interesting conversation, okay? And they're talking about, you know, wars and, you know, things like this now then. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? And here's what I've got to say. There is a few things I want to say, but I'm going to begin by saying I'm going to go back to what I need to talk about in a moment, okay? Because I have so much in my flipping noddle. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? And of course, so sometimes if somebody, you know, we stop and talk, you know what I mean, they're probably thinking, gee whiz, you know, this lass now, she can talk for England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, there we are, and beyond. You know, what's that? Was that madness? One step beyond. Do, 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 do. That's just coming to my noddle, my delicious babies. Anyway, so, yeah. So let me first of all talk about, so I was listening to Dr. Shiva just a bit, just his video again this morning, Martin Babies. I'm pretty sure I heard it again yesterday. I'm sorry, I heard it yesterday, then again this morning. Well, I know I definitely heard it. Do you understand what I mean today? Okay, but it's just a repeat basically. Yeah, and he's talking about post offices, and this is something that came back to, there we are, my noddle, after all those decades ago, my delicious babies, okay? And, well, the point is, I mean, when I was in jewellery, it just, like when something casts your noddle back, my delicious babies. And I remember, because, you do so many jewellery repairs and everything, or you're making rings or something like that, because for myself, I learnt to size a ring and solder a chain not long before I left jewellery. Okay, my delicious little baby. So I forgot to say that the other day. So there we are. So I do need to make a point of saying that. Anyway, it's a wonderful experience to do that, my delicious little baby. So I'll never regret, where you learn different things. There we are, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? So I'll never regret that. Jewellery was not something I ever wanted to go into originally, you know what I mean? But I have said that years ago on my videos, my delicious little babies. But anyway, not to worry, not to worry. And we used to, after, do the invoicing, there we are, which I did. And then, then we wrap it all up, super duper, tartly now, and then of course, we usually have it insured, there we are, for the maximum, my delicious babies, because there's ones who are wanting their jewellery back, could be sentimental, could be, where it's probably gone down generations, little, what do they call them, little heirlooms, like ornaments and things like this now then. And then, of course, you can have just your bog standard, not meaning that in a disrespectful way, but your bog standard jewellery where, maybe if somebody, for whatever reason, they're not going to feel as sentimental. Do you understand what I mean? They're just sending in their repairs. Okay, my delicious babies. If you're making something, but usually that would come from somewhere else. So we'd usually need to go and hand, there we are, deliver that. Okay, my delicious babies. Or if you're dealing with independent shops, then they would drive down, there we are, and collect the item and pay for it. Okay, my delicious babies, okay? Now then, my delicious babies, which usually involved either a cheque or ka-ching, cash is king, isn't it, my delicious babies? That's, there we are, how I was always brought up to be, you know what I mean? I mean, yes, I know that it's printed, but the fact of the matter is that you have that freedom. There we are, that's what I'm talking about, my delicious babies. But every so often, and we kept every single receipt. It's always receipts, my delicious babies. There we are. Okay, my delicious babies. It's just something that came back to me after all those decades. And, then we'd have certain parcels that went missing, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Full of jewellery. And, of course, you can only insure it for so much. So even if you do it, like, for $5,000, okay, my delicious babies, the fact of the matter is that, you would have other pieces. If you really put it all together, it would be, there we are, far more than $5,000, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? And I used to handle a lot of repairs and a lot of, there we are, jewellery, my delicious babies, in my job role, okay, my delicious babies, okay? But yeah, every so often, was it a few times a year, that the jewellery used to go missing, my delicious babies, and it wasn't just our parcels, it was others, and of course there was ones who were chatting about it, you know what I mean? And this could be even parcels of diamonds, because if we needed like diamonds or something, we never had it on the premises, then we'd have to go out, which I usually would, and, we'd go and order a specific diamond, whatever it is, for a ring or a necklace or something like this now, or a bracelet or something, do you know what I mean? Anyway, my delicious babies, but ones were chatty about it, there we are, and I'm going back decades ago now, and I said, of course, I never got blamed for anything. I had the receipts there. Everybody knew. And anyway, they knew. Do you know what I mean? Even if I never had two pennies to rub together, I was brought up that way, never to steal. My delicious babies, never to leave teeth, you know what I mean? Okay? So, yeah, this was happening, yeah. At least a few times a year. My delicious babies, okay? So where, there we are, was the goal going? You see, I would have said, okay, because everything's supposed to be super duper secure and safe, isn't it, Mards, little babies? I mean, even PO boxes, I know that from decades ago, they're not safe either, Mards, little babies, you know what I mean? Really, not being rude or disrespectful, but really, anybody that we are should know that, Mards, little babies, you know what I mean? PO boxes, you know, every now and again, there we are, was getting raided, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be safe and secure. Anyway, Mards, little babies. So, but where was the jewellery going? I would have said at that time, there's got to have been, there we are, inside job here. There we are. Okay, Mards, little babies, but they couldn't do it all the time. Do you say? Anyway, that's all I wanted to mention there, Mards, little babies. That's just my theory, there we are, delicious little babies, kind. And I remember saying that, there we are, decades ago. So I said, well, it's going somewhere, isn't it? I was only very young at the time. And I said, well, it's going somewhere, isn't it? But again, this is where, you know, you have to have very trustworthy, there we are, purse men or purse ladies. Do you see what I mean? Okay. For myself, there we are, I highly respect our purse men and purse ladies, okay, Mads, little babies, because they're up at whatever o'clock in the morning, okay, to go and do a job, okay. And I remember in our Bromley Land going back decades ago, there were certain places that the postmen or purse ladies were actually really, there wasn't really many purse ladies at all. Martinish babies, Kate was usually pursemen, and there were certain, say, blocks of flats that they just wasn't allowed to go in. And the reason why is because you go in there and then you get tea leaf, you get robbed. Martinish babies, there we are, simple things. That's what happened. Okay. And if they took the sack or whatever they took, you know what I mean? So they had to stay away from certain. Anyway, that's all I'm saying, Martin. Anyway, but you remember that song, don't you? Stop your fooling around. Oh, Rudy. A message to you, Rudy. Do you know what I mean? Martin Vibes can. But yeah, and it was really you know, and I was listening to Dr. Shiva, bless, you know, because it was only the other day when I was seeing a white, you know, like paper aeroplane that we used to make when we were little Mads, little babies. Yeah, it was when I was out and about walking Mads, little babies, you know what I mean? But of course, there's all, you know, types of different ways to communicate. Message in a bottle. You know what I mean? Anyway, Mads, little babies, because it just sort of eventually got to shore, didn't it? The old message, there we are, in a bottle. You know what I mean? Mads, little babies, guys. There's many ways. But for myself, I just really enjoyed, you know, writing things down now. Do you understand what I mean? I just love to write, you know. But these days, I repeat it again. If you go, I said this months ago, if you go into a post office now, they want to know what's inside the parcel. Well, it's not the shopkeepers. Do you understand me? It's not them at all. It's just that they're sort of, you know, whatever the machine's telling him, they're told to ask. Well, me personally, I think it's damn rank, man. It's a damn cheek. Because nobody should know what is in anybody's parcel, my delicious babies. It's private to that man or woman, whoever mankind they may be. Do you see what I mean? It is an invasion, there we are, of one's privacy. And not only that, but who's to say if you say, oh, I've got this in there, you know what I mean? Who's to say that you got your other little ones, you know, with the little, let's just say, light fingered. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? Because it's all there, isn't it? Do you see what I'm saying? I know what I'm talking about, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? But every time I used to go down the flipping post office, right, I used to get peed off. I said, it's not you with the staff, it's not. And I said, but I do not see why I have to tell what is in my parcel. Do you see what I mean, Martin? I mean, there was nothing bad. Anyway, that's all irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, there was nothing there that was what I would feel that was, you know, it was important to somebody else. But do you understand what I mean? It's important for myself to make sure that parcel's, there we are, delivered. Do you see what I mean? But even with that, he said there's no guarantee. Okay, my delicious babies, this parcel will get to its address. Look at that. There we are. Do you see what I mean, Mads? Little babies, okay? Like I said, you've got flipping eyes and ears everywhere, it seems. But it's not the shopkeepers and it's not the post office, you know what I mean? It's another force, shall we say, my delicious little babies, yes? Anyway, so finally, so that's what I need to cover there. But one should really write as there we are as much as what they can. Do you know what I mean? Because what Dr. She would say, it's all there we are, ding ding dong dong, common sense. We have to keep there we are our free there we are speech. My delicious little babies, okay. Anyway, so I'll just change subject and then I'm going to be over and out, okay. Now then. So yeah, so the thing is, this has taken months and months and months for myself, my delicious little babies, okay, to work all of this out, okay, and I've come to the conclusion, okay, my delicious little babies, okay, but I have to have like there we are, firmness for what I'm saying, okay. So from the time that I started being sparred on, my delicious little babies, which by the way, they never that doesn't mean that they never had my permission to do so. Well, of course, if you're spying, ding, ding, dong, dong, you know, it's clear that you do not, it's common sense, not to yourself, my delicious babies. I didn't mean it like that. I'm not being sarcastic. But, you know, maybe I've said it the wrong way. Well, if you've been spied on, then you're not supposed to know you've been spied on. So sorry about that, my delicious babies, okay? But, and this goes back to, like I say, to the Russia-Ukraine war, my delicious babies, okay? So what's my thoughts here, my delicious babies? That doesn't mean no. So this means that somebody, and I will not be the only one, my delicious babies, okay? Very sadly, there will be others who too have been spied on, okay? To what extent, I'm not entirely certain. But yes, so what it is, it's a way of, there we are, getting information. So say, for example, there we are, and this is how I'm running with this now then, okay? So they watch what's been tapped down, you know, comments, my delicious babies, okay? So that doesn't mean no. Comments, my delicious babies, okay? Now, who's behind this? I do not know. Okay, my delicious babies, but I know there we are from when this started from. Okay, my delicious babies, and with my videos, okay? And so they look at that. Okay, this is my thoughts, one of my thoughts. Anyway, my delicious babies, okay? So not only does it help to build numbers with channels, my delicious babies, okay? And this could be any channel to do with anything, okay, my delicious babies. So it's not just to do with wars or anything like this. This could be channels to do with all sorts of different topics, there we are, and subjects, my delicious babies, okay? But I'm talking about in my case, okay? Because I thought one way or another, there we are, I'm going to get to the bottom of who's doing this. Okay, there we are, my delicious babies, because it's still spying on me now. Can still hear every word in my flat, my delicious babies, can. So, so what is it? Sorry, let me just proceed what I'm saying. So they gather this, okay? So this one theory is they can, my thoughts is that they can bump up, there we are, the channels, okay? Because they've got to keep it going, haven't they? Okay, my delicious babies, okay? Which of course at somebody else's expense, okay? Because this is a sheer invasion, there we are, of my privacy, and this has been done, there we are, deliberately, there we are, to myself. Now then, let's fast forward. So now I'm not happy about it. I'm absolutely, there we are, I'm absolutely vexed, there we are, and furious. And whoever's putting the blinds out, forgot to mention that, like a single blind, you know, like these blinds that you can get vertical, and you know the ones I'm on about, my delicious babies, the long ones, okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, well, no, I'm not blind. I've had these thoughts, there we are, for many months now. So no, I'm not blind. So whoever it is, don't take the effing pee, man. Okay? Because let me tell you, that is not a good idea. Okay? So at the end of the day, this has been done, there we are, at my expense, to enrich, there we are, others. And very sadly, like I said, I do not believe I'm the only one. Okay, my delicious babies, okay, because I've got to keep it going. Let's fast forward to what's happened. So the little bands would play outside, you know, on the grass outside, my delicious babies, can. And something as well came to my attention. And what came to my attention, now they played this for months, and it was called, is it green light, red light, green light? Something to do with Squid Games. I have no idea, Martin Babes. I just, if I'm pottering around my home and everything, or if I'm in the garden, you hear them go green light, red light. It's a game that they all play, Martin Babies. But I personally do not know, what this game is. Anyway, well, of course, is it Israel who is now what they've admitted playing red light, green light with? Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Well, it's a game, isn't it? My delicious little babies, do you know? Then there we are. It's a game, isn't it? But what made my ears prick up is because when it said red light, green light, and I heard it on another video, just over 5-minute video on my YouTube, my delicious little babies, Kai. So I thought, yes, okay. Going back a couple of years ago, or over a couple of years ago, I talked about on one of my videos. It's a saying. It's rocks, scissors, stones. Do you know what I mean? So you go rocks, scissors, stones. Do you see what I mean? And I noticed that on one of the videos, there we are, that was mentioned. So you see, as far as I'm concerned, I'd have a pretty good idea. There we are, who it is. Well, let me tell you, I'm going to be honest, I'll never ever look at any of the channels again. Okay, never. Okay, I'm absolutely, there we are, disgusted, because I should never have been treated this way. And actually anybody who looks at channels, no matter what subject or topic, okay, should not be subjected to having their privacy, there we are, totally invaded, having their home spied on, having everywhere you walk and talk spied on. That includes shops, walking around, no matter what I'm doing, walking with beautiful little Ruby Tuesday, no matter where I go, right? Not to mention being boxed into my garden, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, nobody has a right to do that to somebody else. All for the sake, there we are, of keeping everything going. Now, yes, I totally would say this long time. I've said it long time anyway, for years, life is a stage. We all know that. But at the end of the day, nobody's got any right to listen to my every word or what goes on in my home, which, by the way, is nothing bad at all. But that's all irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? The fact of the matter is they should never be doing that anyway, just to enrich themselves. So this is like, let's talk about this another way. Maybe it's luring. That's a good word. So you get lured onto channels, you get suckered in. There we are. You know what I mean? To believe different things now and what's going on in the world and everything like this now, okay? And then what then happens, once you're reeled in, like fishy, 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 come on, little fishy, you know what I mean? Then this is what they do. There we are, my delicious little babies. That's my thoughts, my delicious little babies. I'm pretty certain I would say I'm correct here. Oh, yeah. Because I remember, you see, it's all coming back to me with my noddle over a couple of years ago now. And where I heard on a video, they said, oh, that was quick. You know what I mean? Like every single thing that was coming out. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, okay. But the fact still remains, this is my privacy. It is an invasion, there we are, of my privacy. So quite frankly, I couldn't give a figler's F what any channel, should anybody happen to be listening, there we are, because there's always somebody listening. I couldn't give a figler's F, a flying F, how somebody feels now. Because there we are, very sadly, there we are, have had to put up and endure with this for all this time. So I would say it's about time now, because I won't be looking at channels again. No, I will not. No. Okay? And even if, you give information, you help ones along, or whatever you do, you know what I mean? I won't be doing no such thing anymore. No. But have I learnt my lesson? I've learnt my lesson. Just never do anything like that again. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Because that is the only way, there we are, that I feel, there we are, that this has all happened. Okay, my delicious babies, okay? But ones now, there we are going to be waking up more and more and more. Okay, there we are, my delicious babies, do you know what I mean? to what is going on in the world. Okay, so I would certainly say that let's just put it this way, that the ones running the world, yes, okay, so they've used all of us, just like the one to, there we are, depopulate, but they don't mind using all of us. Some, there we are, who are aware of it, and like myself, very sadly, there we are not aware of it. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, to their own ends. And then what they've done now, then saying that they want to, depopulate long time. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? This is damn rank, man. It really is. And I'm not going to let it go. And I am going to keep, there we are, mentioning this. But I've learnt my lesson. Never now, no. Because it has been used, there we are, for the wrong things now. There we are, in my view. Okay? So I'm really certainly, and I have been, there we are, long time, questioning a rather large number, there we are, of the alternative media. I mean, we already know about the poxy flipping mainstream, poxy box in the corner of the room, but no. It's just amazing, there we are, what ones will do. There we are. This is really amazed me. I shouldn't be amazed, but you know what I mean? What they do. There we are. Me personally, I think it's very underhand, lower than a snake's belly. One cannot get lower than a snake's belly. My delicious babies. And yes, I did stumble there. Got every reason to. For myself to be used, and then everybody else, there we are, sitting back laughing. Oh yeah, we can make a right good earner on this one. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Well, guess what? To whoever you are now, then, isn't it very nicely? F off effing nicely. That's what I've got to say to you, right? And now it's about time now. You may as well, remove the bugs and everything, okay? Because I won't be going on these channels anymore. I won't be listening. I have no interest, zero interest. Okay? When ones just feel that they're just innocent, that we are innocently commenting, that we are what goes on behind the scenes. That's very disturbing, my delicious little babies. Yes. So I'm not shouting at you, my delicious little babies, okay? I'm just letting it know to whom it may concern now, isn't it? Okay? Gotta get a message to you. Whoa, whoa. Do you see what I mean? Okay? And that's what I've got to say. But no, the more and more time's going on, my delicious little babies. No, I'm not believing in none of these wars. I'm not believing it. In fact, really, for anything that I see at this moment in time, there's a few. Do you know what I mean? But for most, no. I'm not believing it. And if ones could go on to our lovely and with anybody not in that way, our lovely Mag Bitter Truth Official on YouTube, my delicious little babies, can. Well, he's doing the latest video now to do with the next wave of this, my delicious little babies, can. So, and he's up to 13.1 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. No. Lights out. No. When I see what's been done to myself, my delicious little babies, there we are. It's damn well rank and disgusting, man. There we are. That's what it is. That's what I have to say, my delicious little babies. Okay? I do not deserve that. I do not deserve to be followed around a supermarket or a shop or anywhere else for that matter now. I do not deserve to, if I'm walking out and about, to be followed around, to see what I'm buying or to see what I'm doing or to see who I'm talking to. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? It's nobody else's damn well effing business, man, who I talk to and who I do not talk to, where I go and where I do not go. It's nobody else's business, man. And whoever is behind this now, because there's always, somebody else and somebody else and somebody else, okay? Well, go and effing spy on somebody else now then and leave me the F alone. Because I've had enough of you all. Who's doing this? I've had enough of you. Okay, do you get it now? There we are. Do you get it? I've had enough of you. You damn ring cheekiness now. And you damn ring. Because what that shows myself is a turtle. There we are. Lack of respect for whoever comments, makes a comment. That's a turtle lack of damn well respect, man. Big times. Okay? So that's what I've got to say. Okay? And I'm not going to change my view. I'm totally, there we are, peed off with it. There has been times, my delicious babies, I'm not shouting at yourselves, it's to whom it may concern, where this has totally peed me right off. Because nobody deserves to be treated like that now then, you know what I mean? But I ain't going to be damn well brainwashed. No, I am not any longer. No. You're seeing things what they are now then. And you see, for myself, I've been watching like Fake Nukes Phil and little Gemma Doherty and Jim Rizzoli. Long time. I was advertising them. Long time. Not just 5 minutes ago. Okay, now some in the alternative media, of course, they will know who I'm talking about. For my delicious little babies, I'm very sorry. You know, you may or may not know, but, you know, it's only because I'm mentioning it. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? But, and I wasn't pointing, that's rude, my delicious little babies, okay? But no, I'm not believing this bullshit. Look how many. Oh, and what is it? Gaza's now got a foundation. Huh? Foundation. Lots of foundations, isn't there? My delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? And amazing, there we are, what you can do. There we are with rubber, isn't it, my delicious little babies? And I'm not just talking about a sleeping bag now. Or say using, you know, a pencil and using a rubber to rub something out, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Yes. So no, I'm not very happy about it. And if anybody does expect me to be happy about it, well, I tell you what, get on your back. I'm not talking to you, my delicious babies, to whom it may concern. Get on your back and pedal effing fast now, because I'm not damn well interested. Like I said, I'll never look at certain channels ever again. Never. So that's the end of my video, my delicious little babies. So wherever you are in the world, thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comment, okay? And yes, yesterday I did enjoy, there we are, my delicious, there we are, fruit salad. Okay, my delicious little babies, but you just take care of yourselves now then. Please try to take care of others. I hope that wherever you are, that you're having beautiful, there we are, and delicious weather. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected. But yes, I certainly feel now, my delicious little babies, that one's out there, wherever my video will go to get listened to, because like I said, there's always somebody listening and there's always somebody seeing, okay? That just please watch yourself now, no matter what subject, there we are, no matter what topic, you know, all over the internet, on any platform, okay? Just be careful about if you send comments or whatever you do, because you never know where it's going to lead. You could very sadly end up like myself and many others being spied on. And it's really not a very nice life at all, my delicious little babies, okay? It's not very nice at all, okay? One last thing I want to say. Yes, somebody sent a comment, my delicious little babies, on was it a video, man, a couple of days ago? I do not know if it's one of these generated epoxy things or whatever it is, okay? And what's it telling me? I need to optimize, or whatever it's called, optimization or whatever, you know, my videos. They said, what is it? I've got 1,600 videos. Okay, well, comes to 7, doesn't it, my delicious baby? Important numbers, 7 and 8. Okay, my delicious babies, but they tend to use 3, 6, 9, 13, 11, 17. That seems to be, you know, the main ones that they use, my delicious babies, okay? And yeah, I'm paid off. And rightfully, there we are, effing sir, man. But I know now that we are fully, do you know what I mean? I'm quite happy to say it in front of my camera. One's like to, there we are, used now then, do you know what I mean? And find it utterly hilarious. Well, not from where I'm sitting. Not at all. Okay. So there we are. As far as I'm concerned, there we are. Game over. Okay. Now then, yeah. So let's just continue with this just very quickly, my little babies. So, and it says you need. Okay, that's it. 1,600 videos, and I've got 516 subscribers, but I need to, what is it, optimize and whatever other poxy things it said, my little babies, okay? So I took a look at it and I thought, how am I going to respond to this? Okay, my little babies. So, where it says I need to do these things, and then in the next few days, okay, my video will get I can only assume more views. Well, no, you see, as far as I'm concerned, there we are. I am happy the way my channel is. Okay, I'm not there for the click, 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 clicks for all this, no disrespect to any of my subscribers, and the majority of my lovely subscribers, because they're also beautiful, all my subscribers, right? But for majority is to do with my readings that I did. Okay, not to do with the information that I give out, surprisingly. There's no surprise. Okay, my delicious babies, but it's mainly to do with my readings. But I sent the comments back. In fact, I thought actually under the circumstances, there we are, I was being rather polite. Okay, but as far as I'm concerned, I do not need to do anything. What is it, at YouTube channel or something? I don't need a YouTube channel to do anything. I'm quite happy, there we are, the way that I am with my channel. I'm not there to make tons of ka-ching, 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 so that they can make you, there we are, then they can break you. Because we see plenty, there we are, videos on that, my little babies. You know, when ones are used to the ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching coming in now, isn't it? But when YouTube is ready to, there we are, game over, you get demonetized. You know what I mean? Your videos don't get out as much. Do you understand what I mean, my little babies? That's how they play the game. So no, I do not need to play that game. I'm quite happy with what, there we are, I am doing. So I do not need. You have to listen very carefully or read very carefully. In this case, it's reading. So that's not sarcasm, my little babies. At the word need. Do you know what I mean, my little babies, right? So for myself, I put that as a strong word. Do you know what I mean? Now, you might get another channel. I'm not saying all channels, my delicious babies. No, I'm not. But you might get another channel thinks, oh, yes, I've got to do this. I must get this done. Oh, I must get that. No. Because if it's a hobby, it is, there we are, a hobby. And I enjoy giving out information, and I enjoy giving out my videos. You know, I mean, I should really get back more to do my readings, but because of the putridness, what's going on in the world, no, it doesn't sit correct with myself. Not at all. It doesn't sit correct with myself. If you've got some of the alternative media now lying through the effing teeth, man, that doesn't sit right with me either, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But myself, I will put my hands up. I fell for this shot as well, my delicious little babies. Honestly, I swear down, I honestly fell for it. So, you know, silly me. My mistake, my delicious little babies, but I won't be making that mistake again. Not at all, my delicious little babies, not at all. Okay, I feel that there we are, that these have had full and plenty. There we are, out of myself, my delicious little babies. There we are, they've had full and plenty and some more. They ain't getting no more from myself. Not a chance. You know what I mean? So no. I had loyalty, no more. No more. Just keep away from the channels. That's the best thing to do, for myself personally. There we are. Just keep away from the channels. Just don't give any input. Don't do anything. Unsubscribe. There we are. Just be done doing it. Then you ain't got the problem anymore. Do you understand what I mean, my little babies? Well, I suppose as long as I want to continue spying on myself. But there is nothing to spy on myself for, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? Okay? So yeah, so that's all I've got to say. So yeah, by all means, if you wanted to click on and read the comment, you know, please feel free to read the comment. But that's what I had to say. I'm not going to be told you need. I do not need to do anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm not here to make you know, we're in the money. I'm not here for that. I'm certainly not that. Okay? And I'm not going to be sucking into it either. And that's what I have to say, my delicious babies, but I'm not shouting at you, okay? So very much love. Thank you once again for listening, because I know that not a lot can listen to my videos. But no, I stand there we are firm by what I'm doing. I'm happy with the way that we are, my channel is, okay? Because ones can take ham in pieces, bits and pieces. They could just take bits and pieces out, my delicious babies, do you know what I mean? And then there we are. Then as far as I'm concerned, that's my job done. You know what I mean? Okay, that's my part that I play in the world, my delicious babies, kind. So, you know, as well as doing my healings. So until and my readings. So until my next video, my delicious little babies, please enjoy your weekend wherever you are in the world, okay? You just please just take care now then, because you only get one life, my delicious little babies, okay? Please learn to enjoy, for those of you who do not learn to enjoy things in life. Not to yourselves, my delicious little babies, to whom it may concern. So much love. Take care. Many blessings. Thank you for listening once again. Love ya. Goodbye.